Hello guys, today we'll see what is Azure Bastion is. Azure Bastion is a new feature that Microsoft has introduced to access your Azure Virtual Machines through SSL. So usually how you will access the virtual machine is your virtual machine will have a public IP and you will have to expose your RDP port and the SSH port over the internet to access your virtual machines, and from there maybe you'll have a jump box, and from the jump box will be accessing other machines. But Azure has put in a new security to avoid exposing your virtual machines, yeah, the RDP and the SSH port over the internet. So let's get on to how to use Azure Bastion to connect to your virtual machines. So let's go to services, and then we have to search for service bastions. You will have to add a new service. Before we going through, I have already created a virtual network, and then I also have a few virtual machines in place. So this virtual network has address base of /21, and I have a subnet I've already created where my two virtual machines are running. So my virtual machines, I have one Windows machine that has been joined to domain, and I have a Linux machine. So I just want to showcase both Windows and Linux. And the Windows machine, Azure has provided the feature, you can log in using your domain credentials instead of using the local accounts. So let's go back to the Azure Bastion page. I'm going to select a resource group here. I'm going to put test US Bastion. So there is a limitation when it comes to with Azure Bastion. If you see here, it just says there is no subnet that satisfies the requirement. So it actually requires a subnet to be created with the virtual network with the same name as Azure Bastion subnet. So let me go back to the virtual networks. And I'm going to create a new subnet. And there is one more requirement that they say it should have at least /27. So you just have to make sure you're creating the subnet with the same, which satisfies /27. Oops. Okay. So I'm just using the existing subnet, just relies on 10.44.121 at 0/24. I'm here using 10.44.120.0. I'm just gonna click OK. Yeah, so that has been created. I'm going back to the Azure Bastion page. Let me select this again. Yes. So now you see it allows us to utilize the subnet which has the name Azure Bastion subnet. And this subnet needs to have a public IP. So how this works is, so your Bastion, the service that uses Bastion will have a public IP, and through this Azure Bastion you are accessing your virtual machines private IP. So Azure Bastion does not connect to the public IP of your virtual machine. Even though if the virtual machine has a public IP, it always connects the private IP to make sure it's not exposed to outside. Okay, everything is good. So I'm creating service now. It should take some time. So let me go back to my virtual machine. So I'll just show you one of my machine as a public IP and the one does not have, which is a Linux machine. Okay, this took around almost 5 minutes to get it created. Okay, so this is the overview page of the Bastion service that we created, and we have this place where we'll be able to see the sessions that are uh, connected to the Azure Virtual Machines using Bastion. So we should be able to see all the details here. Yeah, let's connect to a virtual machine using the Azure Bastion service. So I will just go to the Windows machine first. So it's just straight away simple. You just have to click on connect, and then you should be able to see a new uh, tab which has Bastion. So usually it was not available before the Bastion was introduced. So as I said, so in the Windows machines, you can use either the local credentials or the Windows credentials to log into the machine. So I'm just using one of my Windows account which has access to log into this machine. Okay, so make sure you allow all the pop-ups. This takes some time for the first time, even though the profile that I'm using is logging in for the first time. But in my experience, it's pretty much faster. Since it is running on, we are accessing the VM using the browser and we are using SSL. So if you want to copy something from your source machine to the Azure Virtual Machine, you have to go through this clipboard. So I'm gonna try something. I'm just going to make sure we are able to copy the text and paste it in the Azure Virtual Machine. Yeah. So I think other than the text, we would not be able to copy anything from the source machine to destination machine. That is the Azure Virtual Machine. This looks pretty fine because this is very useful when you have some vendors or third-party users, or if they want to log into your domain machine. without the VPN access, they should be able to do it through the Bastion service. If you set up like a rollback access control to them, it's easier for them to access the service without VPN in place. I'm going to log it off now. Sign out. Yes. So let's see how the Linux machine works. So it has all the authentication type. I'm just going to use the password method. Okay, this is good. Cool. It's pretty much simpler. They have made it easy, instead of exposing the critical ports to the internet, we are accessing it through SSL. So that is a pretty much cool feature Azure has introduced in recent time. And there are few things we have to check before we want to use the service completely. So right now it supports only in the Microsoft Edge and then the Google Chrome browser, and it's also introduced only in 6 regions. That's documented in the Microsoft page. So pretty much I think from the Microsoft side they're going to introduce this video recording feature also in future. That should take care of the security, the more security. We will be able to see what the user is doing on the virtual machine. So that's going to be one of the best one. In case if you're relying on the Bastion to provide the access to servers for the vendors or third-party users, it's going to be a better check in place. So that's all for today.